Guys, okay, so we're going to be going over the nervous system now. Now, Bear. Okay, sorry, Bear's freaking out for no reason. Okay, so we're going to be going over the nervous system now. So you should have already gone over the nervous system guided notes and all that. So you know that the nervous system is split up into two parts. You have the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Now, the central nervous system is made up of your brain and your spinal cord. And then your peripheral nervous system is all of the rest of the nerves in your body. Now, since nerves are so small, especially in a fetal pig, we're not going to be able to look at a dissection of those, so we're just going to focus on the central nervous system. Okay, so in our pig, your central nervous system is split up into three parts. We have our cranial, which is the head, cervical, which is basically your neck, okay, and then we have the lumbar regions. Your lumbar regions are the rest of your back, so it's basically your thoracic and sacral. Sacral because of the sacrum, which is your butt bone. So now we're going to go into our cranial region. So the cranial region for our pig, you can see in this picture, this is the pig brain. What they did is they took the brain out and then they cut it in half along the midline. Okay, so you can see in here, we see the base of the brainstem, okay? And then we have the thalamus right there in the middle. The thalamus is an organ that helps produce different hormones and neurotransmitters, okay? Now we have the cerebellum, cerebrum, and the corpus callosum, okay? So for our cerebrum and our cerebellum, the thalamus helps have communication between those two, okay? And it's the main processing center for information that comes into the brain from the spinal cord and the brainstem. So the thalamus kind of has a lot of jobs here. So that's all we're really looking at in the brain. So now we're going to move on to our cervical region. So for the cervical region, you can see here, this is the brain, okay? So we have the cerebrum, the cerebellum, okay, at the base. And then we're going into our spinal cord. The yellow rectangular box shows you the spinal cord of the pig. Now, the brain and the spinal cord itself is what makes up the central nervous system. And the spinal cord is kind of like the main one that relays the information from the body and the brain, okay? So your spinal cord is kind of like the mailman between your body and your brain. So now we're going to go into the lumbar region. Okay, so in the picture, it's way lower in their back of the fetal pig, but you can still see the spinal cord here right in the middle. Now, what the metal bar is kind of pulling out and showing you here are nerves that run from the spinal cord out, and they end up branching out to more parts of the body. Now, there's about as many pairs of spinal nerves as there are vertebrae, okay, because your spinal cord is made up of different vertebrae, which are bones, okay, that kind of surround your spinal cord. Your spinal cord is very, very sensitive. That's why you have to have all of the vertebrae, so your spine, protecting it, so that way it protects all the nerves that are connected to the rest of your body. Now, spinal nerves are huge, okay, and they have thousands and thousands of axons that project from the spinal cord to every single part of your body, but not the brain. So your spinal cord has all of the nerves that spread to your body, but not your brain. Your brain has very specific and special nerves called cranial nerves. Your cranial nerves focus only on your brain. So there's only 12 of them. There's 12 pairs, okay, of cranial nerves. And that's how the information in the nervous system enters in or leaves the brain, is through those 12 cranial nerves. So your spinal cord's nerves are specific for every part of your body, but your brain only has cranial nerves. Okay, that's pretty much it for our nervous system. like I said, it's kind of hard to look at more details just because nerves are so small and so fragile that it's really hard to dissect them. So go ahead and go back to the hub and take your nervous system dissection quiz, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.